Have you ever looked at your life and thought, I should be fine, so why do I feel empty, like something is missing? Nothing is technically wrong. You're functioning, you're showing up, you're doing what needs to be done, and yet something feels off. Not sad exactly, not depressed, just hollow. And the confusing part? You can feel this way even on a good day. If that's you, stay with me, because this feeling isn't random, and understanding it can bring a surprising amount of relief. So if that's you, let me say this right away. You're not broken, and you're definitely not the only one. We all feel empty at times. We sense that something is missing, but we can't quite put our finger on what it is. The question isn't if it happens, it's why it keeps happening, even when life looks full. Most of us try to fix emptiness the same way. We get busier, we work more, we try harder, we improve something. And usually, somewhere underneath all of that, there's a familiar thought running quietly in the background. Maybe I'm just not good enough yet. It's subtle, but it's there. Like if you could just be a little more productive, make more money, be a little more put together, a little more impressive, maybe this feeling would finally go away. And here's the part that doesn't get talked about much. This doesn't just happen to people who are struggling. There are people who are doing well financially, who look successful on the outside, and still have these same thoughts. So they work more, they buy more, they chase after things they already know won't fix the emptiness. But they offer temporary relief, just enough to quiet the feeling for a moment before it comes back. So you push, you compare, you replay mistakes, you raise the bar on yourself and call it growth. We tell ourselves, if I could do more, be better, fix this one thing, buy this one thing, maybe I wouldn't feel this way. Or, once this season passes, once I prove myself a little more, I'll finally feel okay. Spoiler alert, that usually doesn't work. Because emptiness isn't a motivation issue, it's not laziness, and it's not a sign you're failing at life. It's a signal. From a psychological point of view, the brain hates empty space because, historically, uncertainty meant danger. A lack of certainty once meant a lack of safety. So when something feels missing, your mind doesn't sit calmly with it. It rushes to fill it. Not because it's broken, but because it's trying to protect you. When something feels missing, your mind rushes in with substitutes: achievement, approval, control, distraction. That's why when you feel empty, you suddenly feel the urge to do something, anything. Even scrolling feels productive at that point. Your brain is trying to stabilize you. But here's the thing no one really explains. What you're actually searching for isn't success, it's security. And underneath that, it's love. Human beings are wired for connection. We're shaped by relationships. We learn early on what brings closeness and what creates distance. We pay attention to what draws people near and what seems to push them away. And at some point, most of us learn this quiet lesson. Love feels inconsistent. People care, but they're distracted. They mean well, but they still hurt us. They show up until they don't. Sometimes they don't even realize they're doing it, not because they're bad people, but because they're human. And the truth is, we do the same thing. We hurt people too, not because we want to, but because we're limited, insecure, distracted, and still figuring things out ourselves. When you experience that on both sides often enough, something in you adjusts. You stop expecting too much. You start managing yourself. And so, without ever meaning to, you adapt. We learn to perform, to stay useful, to not ask for too much, to hold ourselves together so no one has to. And over time, we start asking people and ourselves to fill a space they were never meant to fill. That's when emptiness really settles in. Because no person can be everything. No relationship can be perfectly secure. No human love can carry infinite weight. And when we expect it to, disappointment is guaranteed. On both sides.
Psychology can explain the coping strategies that form here. It can explain why you strive, why you overthink, why rest feels uncomfortable. But it can't answer the deeper question. Why does the emptiness stay, even when life improves? Here's the part most of us were never told. You weren't designed to be your own source. Human beings were not created to generate their own sense of completeness. We were created to receive it. And this is where faith stops being an accessory and becomes the foundation. When God is absent or pushed to the edges of our life, the soul, the deepest part of us, doesn't just shrug and move on. It tries to compensate. We start filling the space with whatever feels available or with what we think might fit. Work, people, and temporary fixes become substitutes. And substitutes never truly satisfy. They may keep us busy, distracted, or temporarily comforted, but they don't make us whole. That's why emptiness can exist in success. Why it can show up in good relationships. Why you can have everything you once wanted and still feel like something's missing. It's not because you're ungrateful. It's because you're trying to live on sources that were never meant to sustain you. So if you feel empty, hear this clearly. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. It means something essential is missing. You've been asking created things and people to supply what only God was meant to give: steadiness, belonging, and rest. And before you rush to fix it, before you try to fill it again, just pause. Notice where you've been looking for fullness. Notice what or who you've been asking to hold you together. In the next video, we'll talk about where fullness actually comes from and why it was never meant for you to carry on your own. We will talk about that next.